25 years ago, Magic the Gathering captured the hearts of players around the world. They summoned creatures, cast powerful spells, and used artifacts to defeat their opponents. We went on a journey as Planeswalkers, discovering faraway lands, encountering terrifying enemies, and hunted for treasure. Now, we're returning to the place where it all started, the plane of Dominaria. The story resumes, and we learn about what happened to the Weatherlight crew, and what happened to a world that was destroyed and had to rebuild. This is a Dominaria pre-release at Mox Boarding House. Today, players new and old experience the original story with modern set design. Today, we're going home. Welcome to Dominaria.
Are you guys ready to open the boots back to Dominaria? Yeah!
I think Dominaria is sweet. I really like the legendary stuff.
Yeah.
I think legendary gives you a lot more room to play around with power level. Legendary matters you can do a lot of sweet stuff with. Also the frame is super sweet looking. I like the frame. The little crown looking frame is nice.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I want a Yargle. And then I also opened that triple blue Jhin, which I'm gonna do something with in Modern, because I think that in Master Ways will be fun. The new standard commander is gonna be fun. I'm gonna try it out and see how it goes. Yeah, Brawl. I've been brewing with the red-blue wizard guy, because I wanna make a wizard Brawl deck, but I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. We'll see.
I am excited for Dominaria. It looks like they've done some cool things with the set. We've taken some risks. There's a card that says Destroy All Lands, which I'm always a fan of. And the limited environment looks sweet. I can see some busted things you can do in this. Well, I think this is an opportunity to kind of connect with Magic's past. I mean, I wasn't playing during old school Magic, so it's kind of cool that I can kind of touch base with people who were. Now I get to go to Dominaria. And I think that's pretty awesome.
I want a Karn as my Planeswalker out of my first booster. That's what I want. Very first one. That's what's gonna happen. You watch, I'll show you. So yeah, this is my very first anything Magic. My first tournament, my first pre-release. If you want to get into Magic, this is the perfect place to come to Magic, or an event to come to get into Magic. And yeah, you have a lot of veterans here like, oh my God, it's Dominaria. And I'm like, what's Dominaria? But I'm fastly learning how cool it is and the history that it has. And to see a card that's got like ruins around it, they're like, oh, these ruins are from this time in Magic history that I played 20 years ago, and now we're going back there. And that's pretty cool. I don't know, I guess we'll find out if I ever win a game, what it feels like to see the look of defeat on the guy I'm playing, like, yeah, that just happened. So, we'll see.
So far it's pretty good. My pool is like average, not amazing, not terrible. I did not open a Jura, I did not open a Weatherlight, so it could be better, but given that, I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know, it's just making me really excited I'll just say be back in like actively playing Magic. I cube at our house sometimes, and with Brawl and the new Legends, I'm really excited to build some decks.
Dominaria looks sweet so far. I haven't gotten to play with it yet. I'm really excited. This is going to be my first pre-release of the weekend. But there's a lot of cool cards I'm looking to add to standard decks and Brawl decks, and a bunch of sweet cards for Cube for sure. So I never played Magic, unfortunately, when our planes were set on Dominaria. But a lot of my favorite sets like the Invasion block and Time Spiral block were set on Dominaria, so I'm excited to go back and experience the story for the first time. And seeing all the people interact with all the cool cards that they remember from their childhood and their past has been super cool too. I most want to open probably Jaya Ballard. Jaya Ballard looks super cool, so does Teferi. A lot of the legendary creatures are cool too. But you know, just a bunch of cool new cards for Cube and a bunch of cool Brawl commanders that I want to try out. I'm really excited for all the new aesthetic changes they made. I like them using the they-them pronoun. I like the little legendary border. So a lot of those minuscule changes have really added up to be something greater for me.
I'm excited for Dominaria because there's going to be some funky, fresh cards, and I like it more because the past few sets have had like okay cards, but this one's going to be like a master set, but for the normal price. I like the nostalgia theme where they're going back to the good old days and they're bringing back some of the characters. I don't know, I just want everything. Everything seems fun, except there's that one good commander. He was like, bring stuff from your graveyard onto the battlefield. I like that guy, I want him.
It's the history of it. Like every other plane, if it's new or even returning, it's not the same as Dominaria. Dominaria was the plane from Alpha and Beta. It's the plane originally from every set until Mirrodin, I believe, is when we left the plane. So every world, or every set before this has been on this world. Like, this is the history of the game, in a way. This is the homecoming. I mean, that's the idea, right? I mean, a lot of the old characters are actually still here. They're still alive. There's so many immortal people on this world that they're, actually appearing in the set. And then the new players can, be introduced to them for the first time. And then old players just have the history and the knowledge of, having played with characters before, having seen it in the story. Right? We have the sagas, which are just literally the history of the world. To hopefully show new players that, because we lived through that, right? I mean, Phyrexian Scripture shows the time of the Thran of like Urza and Mishra. The Fall of the Thran describes one of the novels. There's a lot of the different ones from the Invasion and the Mending, from the Time Spiral and Invasion blocks. It's been great to see literally throwing back and showing people this is what happened in this world. These are the sets you played through before, and this is how it's being remembered. I mean, it's great to see that they actually put flavor and character behind even uncommons that way, rather than just generic knight number 2. You're not really just hoping people enjoy it. I mean, hoping that's good enough that people want to come back to Dominaria again sometime in the future, right? Like if Wizards only does this every 10 or 15 years, it'd be kind of sad.
It's going great. I did 3 on Magic Online for videos, and then I came here, did one this afternoon, and I'm doing the evening one. I went 4-0 in the first one, so I can't really ask for better than that. And I'm 2-0 in the one that we're in now. So 2 more rounds to go for the perfect 8-0. This one, this deck I actually opened a bunch of green cards that let me splash and kind of facilitate a pretty, it was greedy, I'm just gonna tell you. And I decided not to be super greedy though, and to try out blue-red with a bunch of artifacts, because I actually haven't had a chance to try that yet. And I thought it'll be good learning experience, and I think it's a pretty good build for the deck. And I got Joyra and the Weatherlight. Now, you may notice that Joyra is Weatherlight Captain. So it is now my goal to crew the Weatherlight with Joyra, and if I can do it, I'll just be like, I won the day anyway. And I almost did it last round. I attacked with the Weatherlight, I hit my opponent. When it triggers, you get to look at the 5 cards, look for one with Historic. I found Joyra, I revealed it, and I'm like, okay, next turn I'm doing it. And then they conceded. They scooped them up, and because they were gonna be dead to it anyway, but I haven't actually officially done it, so that's what I'm waiting for. The thing I appreciate a little more are the sagas, and how they tried to make the artwork look kind of like, almost like tapestries in some case, that looks, I guess to us it would be medieval, right? This is kind of the stylistic choices that they made. And I like that our game is now old enough to have its own lore, even though many of these seemingly take place in the past, at least for what we think. People are wearing like leather vests and they're pirates, things that we don't really associate with the here and now. And we have that type of history, and now it feels like within Magic that history exists and we get to kind of see it. I really think that's a neat place that they're exploring. I mean, I'm stoked for it. I like simple sets. I generally like the really complicated sets the most, but I find a little palate cleanser, a little refresher every once in a while of a set that's a little more simple. It's a little more like, I read the card, I go, that's a good Magic card, I'm gonna put that card on my deck and it's going to be good. I like that. It doesn't have to all be like super high level, synergistic, cross-platform. It's just like, sometimes it's just good enough to have Magic cards that you need to evaluate and play, and I like that they're kind of, it feels like they're dipping their toe back in that waters here.
Right, so earlier we were talking about having this guy and having Fall of the Thran. I did manage to flash in a Fall of the Thran during my opponent's upkeep. The game went the way you expected to.
Thanks for joining us for the Dominaria Pre-release at Mox Boarding House. Okay, I'll tap 3, I'll play a Slime Foot. Go ahead.